Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the United Kitchens. Joining me on this show each and every week is celebrity chef and certified nutritionist Ricki Mckenna. I really would love for you to engage with her during the show, post your comments, ask your questions, and we're happy to read them out loud. Let's welcome Ricki to the show.
Thank you, Dr. JACALYN, and welcome everybody to Ricki's Kitchen. Here I am. Ricki's Kitchen. It's me, Ricki Mckenna, and I am a certified nutritionist, as Dr. JACALYN said, for about 20 years. And this is my kitchen where we process food, and we also, we create wonderful meals and dishes. And it's more than what you eat. Food is food for thought as well. So you'll see that here, you'll hear it, because I think about food as part of my life. And food to me and everyone that I meet is something that is necessary. We all have to eat. So we might as well eat stuff that helps us feel good and perform well and just be who we are, to be the best person we are. And the one thing I want to show you, and we'll get back to this later, if you go to Amazon, you will find my new book. It's Yes, You Can Eat Well and Eat Right, and find the joy of cooking. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But right now, today, since I've been working with people for the last 23 years on what they eat and why it should be something that helps give them energy and feel good and be able to do whatever they want to do as easily as possible, we are going to fix our own crackers, and they are gluten-free, dairy-free. They're filled with rosemary and thyme, so they're an herbal cracker made with almond flour. And we're also going to fix some hummus so we can spread it on the crackers when they're ready. And we start with 2 cups of almond flour, which I will put together here. And I recommend that you keep your almond flour and any flours that you've already opened. If the package isn't open, then you can keep it in your pantry, but just to keep it under control as far as temperatures go, I recommend putting it in your refrigerator. And if you have a glass container, these are wonderful with the clip down tops. I recommend using those because it keeps things fresher, and rather than plastic, it is inert and it doesn't off-gas any kind of nasty chemicals. So we have our flour, and into the bowl. We'll make sure we get that out. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons each. Actually, out of this time, I think I used 1 tablespoon each of dried thyme and dried rosemary. So I'm going to whisk that in. And anytime you have a dry ingredients that you're putting together, I recommend using a whisk because it really does mix things thoroughly. And speaking of mixing things, we have a guest today, and it's my friend and walking buddy. And today she's playing a sous chef. I'd like to introduce Lorraine. And she's wearing my favorite apron so we can keep her walking clothes clean. And she's going to be helping us because with in order to make the hummus, we're going to have to get some chickpeas together. So right now, I'm going to add 2 eggs into my, we got to add some salt. And I have my favorite grinder. And I've taken my organic kosher salt, and I'm going to grind down about, you can use it in the chunky way that it is, chunky form, but I've got about, just about a teaspoon of salt that I've ground down. So I'm putting that in and mixing that into the batter. If you want to give that a little whisk while I get the eggs and the garlic together here. These are the easiest crackers I have ever made, and I am not particularly a baker. So what I found is something that has 5 ingredients. We're using almond flour, salt, olive oil, eggs, and the thyme and rosemary. That's it. Just those few ingredients. Oops. And I can show you the finished product shortly. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to take my whisk and do the eggs. And into the eggs, we are going to mix some olive oil. And since we're baking, I have to measure. Usually I don't measure. I just kind of wing it. But no, that's not true. I do measure, but I usually know what I'm measuring. And this calls for a tablespoon and a quarter. I don't know how to measure a quarter of a tablespoon, so I'm just going to take a little dribble and put that in there. I think that'll work nicely. And we'll whip that up together, the eggs and the olive oil. Okay. And usually when you make something that has dry ingredients and a wet ingredients that you mix your wet ingredients into your dry ingredients. So we're going to pour about half of the batter in there that way. And Lorraine, can you get the parchment paper for me? It's over there on the range with these are put on a cookie sheet. And I'll show you just a minute. The only problem with using, I'm going to need 2 sheets, please. Using a whisk is that food gets caught in the middle. So you just take your handy dandy fork and get it out of there. There we go. And I'm going to add the rest of my eggs and olive oil, and we'll have our batter. Here we go. Now there's a theory about baking that you can overmix things, but I'm not sure that works with this because I've done them before, and you want the mixing to be thorough. You want to get everything thoroughly together. So now that I've got all my herbs spread out pretty well, I'm going to take my fork and do the rest of the mixing so we don't have to clean out the whisk all the time until we come up with the batter, and we'll have a nice great big ball of rosemary thyme batter. And we're going to take that. I'm going to take the rest of the olive oil out of my tablespoon. There we go. Can I give you that? Okay, thank you. And I can go. Just want to pick up the rest of the almond flour and all the herbs. And you can see we've got a it's not dry, but it's pretty thick batter. And you want to get it to where you can roll it into a ball, but not too tightly because we're going to roll it out on between 2 pieces of parchment paper. Now, if you have large parchment paper, you can probably do this all in one, but I have the small. These are about 8 by 12, I think. Not sure.
9 by 13.
9 by 13. Okay. These come in a packet. And I'm going to take half of the batter that's here because I've already learned that doing it in this particular form on the smaller parchment paper, we're going to put the bowl right in the middle of it. And I'm going to grab my favorite rolling pin, which is today it's a bottle of Marlboro Sauvignon Blanc that's been in the refrigerator. Whoops. And I forgot the other part. Don't do this. This is what happens when you forget to put the second piece of parchment paper on top of the batter so that you can roll it out easily. Here we go. That's why you have two pieces. Okay. I wonder if Julia Child ever went through that. Here we go. We're going to roll it out in all directions. And the nice part about making these crackers yourself is that you can make them as thick or as thin as you desire. So we're going to get them to where they're pretty thin. And you'll see the batter start to come out on the sides of the parchment paper. This is the fun part. If you have kids, this is a fun part for them to do, because you really can't make any mistakes with this except having the batter stick to the bottle. So I'm going to take whatever comes out on the sides, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. Now, if you have a pizza cutter, it's a handy dandy little gadget to use right now. So I'm going to make these a little bit thinner and try to get them fairly even. If you have a regular rolling pin, have at it. They're great. I just don't happen to own one. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to pull the batter off the bottle, which I had actually washed, and take the pieces of the batter that are all around, and we'll put them back in the bowl because we're going to create another one of these. Carefully remove the top paper, and we're going to trim this before I put it on a cookie sheet. Now, I've already got my oven up to 350, and I'm going to trim this cookie or the cracker batter to about 1/2 inch, yep, within on the paper. Let's see. And you can get it straight. I'm using actually not a knife, I'm using a butter spreader, which is not sharp. It doesn't have a sharp edge. So it's easy to use that without cutting the parchment paper. And we're just going to trim off the excess here. And of course, this will become another ball of batter that we will roll. And so we'll have more crackers. You end up with about, at least 30 crackers doing this. Again, depending on the size that you cut them to. So before we put them in, I'm going to take my butter spreader, and it has, one side is actually serrated and the other one is straight. So use the straight side. You can use a regular butter knife and just cut it up. Just make a line gently so you don't pull the batter where you want to separate them. And now some of them will be thicker and thinner than others, unless you're a better batter roller than I am. And we have, okay, we're going to leave those that way, and I'm going to get my cookie sheet. And the advantage to these is you can put 2 of them on one big cookie sheet. So I've got that ready and waiting. And let's roll out our other one. I need one more piece of paper, please. Okay, we might have even more. It's interesting, this batter is enough, depending on how big your parchment paper is. I might have to use 3, so be ready. There we go. Now push it down a little bit and get my handy roller out again. And every time I do this, it gets to be more fun. And I keep telling myself I'm going to go buy some parchment paper that's bigger than this so I don't have to do 3 or 4 of them. But it's kind of fun because I can make one batch that's thinner or thicker than the other. And any comments, Lorraine?
Yeah, I would like to see it a little thicker.
Oh, okay.
See how that works.
All right, because I know you tried the crackers. How'd they come out?
They were tasty.
Good. And we added a little bit more. After Lorraine tried them, I decided that this batch was going to have a little bit more herb and a little more salt. That's the one thing I think we both decided that it needed. Okay. I think that's just a little thicker. And we will cut those off. Let's see. We might have just a teeny bit. Yeah, we've got a teeny bit left over. Now, if you want to get fancy, you can leave it. I don't know if you can see the frilly edges. You can leave it that way, and we can have frilly edge crackers. Or you can just cut them off. Let's see. I want to go. Yep, wait a minute. Yeah, we will have enough to do a third, just a small batch, so not a problem. Okay. Oop, wrong side. We can make them frilly crackers, make them pretty. I'll do this side like that. Don't know if you can see this, but here, let me show you. I'll bring it up to the camera. It's hard to see. Excuse me. I don't know if you can see the frilly edge. There you go. Over here. And so I'm going to take this one, put it on my cookie sheet, and then cut that into crackers again. I'm going to make this batch a little bit bigger. Each of the crackers will be a little bigger. And so we can accommodate those people who want bigger crackers. So as I say, you have your choice here. You can make them as skinny or as thick or as large or small as you like. And so I'm going to take these and we'll put them in our oven, which is at 350. And we're going to set the timer for about 28 minutes. They cook, depending on your oven, they will bake for 30 to 35 minutes. Let's just do a little batch, a half batch. I think I can use this one piece of paper, and I'll show you what we'll do. I think that I could probably either refrigerate or freeze the batter, but I haven't tried that yet. So we're just going to roll this one out and make some smaller crackers. I'll make this one thicker. There we go. And save the wine for later. Okay, let's see. I'm going to cut that side off. And we'll just make a couple of thick crackers. So you can have fun with this thing. There we go. Yeah, that one's thicker. I think you'll like this one, Lauren. Okay. And I'm going to move it over kind of in the, whoops, if I can, in the middle. No, we'll just leave it where it is. And I think I'll just cut that off. And since I've already used my big cookie sheet, I've got another little one here, and we'll put that right in with the others. Only it's going to go a little bit below it, so it might get done faster, and so I'll be able to check that. And okay, now for the fun. Since we've got the crackers and we know what we're going to put on them, let's make the hummus. Would you open the can for me and drain and rinse those garbanzo beans? Again, the hummus is something that's very simple and that works beautifully as a spread on crackers or, of course, on vegetables, however you want to do it. So today we're going to use, this also uses about 7 ingredients. And we start with our sesame tahini. And I need to get my little mixing cup here. Let's see. I've got my sesame tahini, and I want to make sure Don't go away. Yep, I just need to grab this and make sure we get it clean. Okay. And I want to make sure that my tahini is mixed. When you buy tahini, usually I love getting it in a jar rather than in a can because you could cover it and keep it in your refrigerator. And make sure that it is mixed because the oil usually rises to the top. So I'm just making sure that it's thoroughly mixed before I measure my 1/4 cup that I'm going to need. Alrighty. We have a 1/4 cup of sesame tahini. And especially if it's been in the refrigerator, you want to make sure it usually stays mixed if it's in the fridge. I just want to make sure I get all of those goodies in there. And I'm going to take my fresh lemon juice. So I'm going to squeeze. Let's see, we can put those, actually just put those on here.
Just put the whole thing on top.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're going to take a blender or a food processor. And you want to slice lemons?
Sure.
And we're going to squeeze them in there. We need a 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice. So we're going to pour my, didn't want to pour the lemon juice, the sesame tahini in first, and I'll tell you why. It's thick, and it's a little bit on the, since it's thick, it will stick. So what I want to do is we'll get the lemon juice in first, and then we'll put the tahini in on top of that. So we're going to do lemon juice. We need a 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice, and I have my handy dandy lemon squeezer here, which we're going to measure that in here. And when I do the lemon juice, I really like the fact that this is a self-contained juicer because it's much easier to measure things this way, and it's a lot cleaner than having to try to squish the lemons on top of something. It's great for strengthening your hands. So the lemon juice, and you can reserve some of the lemon juice. I like to also, in many instances when I have time, I will take my fresh organic lemons and I will zest them so that we have lemon zest. And I put that in the freezer in a little tiny either very tightly closed plastic container or in glass. I save little jars, glass jars for that. We're almost at a 1/4 cup, so I think we're going to grab a smaller lemon. And when you're picking your lemons at the store, just one little note, the smoother the skin, the more ripe the fruit. So if you're looking for lemons or oranges or the little cuties, the mandarin oranges, anything like that. Whoops, oh dear. We've got sesame tahini on the table. We're just going to pick that up and put it back in there. It just wants to pour, so. Okay. We're going to finish with this lemon and see if we have enough juice to make the 1/4 cup. All right, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to pour my lemon juice in first, as I said, followed by the tahini. And I'm going to pour it at the lowest point where the blades are, and always have, excuse me while I have an errant pit from the lemon juice. Always have a good spatula handy because you want to be able to scrape the sides of the food processor as well as get all the tahini out of the measuring cup. And there we go. And actually, I'm going to add just a tad more. Lorraine, can you do away with that, please? Yeah. Okay. I'm going going to take a little bit more just because I spilled a teeny bit on the top of the working surface. There we go. Thank you. Yay! It's wonderful having help. Okay, so now I've got the sesame tahini and the lemon juice in there, and I'm going to put this on the food processor and get it going. And the reason is you want these two to blend, and you'll see that they become a wonderful paste. It almost looks like pancake batter. Well, while that is going, I hope can you hear me? I'm going to add a little salt. You have to let that go for 30 seconds. Alrighty, now we have a paste that's a mixture of the tahini and the lemon. You can see it's not going anywhere. So I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of salt and add it around. And how are those chickpeas? Are they ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get our chickpeas in here. And a little bit of, you can't have, well you can, but I happen to like garlic in my hummus, so I'm going to take 3 cloves and chop them roughly and add them to the mix. Spread them around a little bit. There we go. And again, my spatula comes in handy dandy. Okay, and now we need 2 tablespoons of the olive oil. But I'm first going to let these go around for another 30 seconds. Make sure that I get all the stuff that's on the walls of the food processor down to where it can be processed. Okay, and now we can add our olive oil. I've kept it over there because I don't think that anybody can hear the noise over there.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's 2.5 tablespoons. Or as a friend of mine, Riyadh, used to say, just put in enough oil to make it work. And he made the best hummus I have ever tasted. So I have the 2 tablespoons in there. We're going to start with that. And you'll still have, because the chickpeas were kind of, they have a skin on them, you might get a little bit lumpy. So we're going to use the olive oil, and we might add some more. Of course, you add some more for serving because it helps make it pretty as well as taste great, and it helps the texture of the hummus. I'm not sure if you can still hear me. I don't know if you can hear the blender. Everything is coming together, yeah. Oh, it smells good.
I can smell the crackers.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oops, let's look at the crackers. Aha, we've got a batch that's done. Thank you for reminding me. That's really not They're cooking faster than usual. Interesting. Thank you, Lorraine. I'm going to pull out part of the crackers because they do look as though they're done. And I'm going to switch, actually. These are hot. Can you grab a plate?
Where are you?
Oh, there. No, here.
Good.
Okay. Let's see if I can do this. I want everybody to see these. Perfect. Watch your hands. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to turn this one around and take these out. It's interesting. Ovens have hot spots. Woohoo. There we go. Now we have to let the crackers, once we take them out, we do have to let them cool so they'll crisp up. But I'm going to put these back in because they're not quite done. And I'm going to turn my oven off. For some reason, it says we still have about 15 minutes left on there, but I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. Now these, you can see they're pretty well browned. They're supposed to be golden brown. We're going to let those cool off over here. Woo. Yeah, would you like to have one? We're going to finish our hummus in a second, but would you like to try some?
I'll wait
Okay.
until that.
I'm going to try one.
Okay.
This is yesterday's batch, and you can see it's kind of browned. There we go. Mm. You know what? Salt.
Oh, good idea.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
I think that would help.
The hummus is delicious too.
Mm. Say that louder.
The hummus is delicious too.
Okay, and the hummus is about finished here. And I want to show you the consistency. Oh yeah. It's still a little bit lumpy. So I'm going to put it back on, and as it's blending, I'm going to add a little bit of water, just about a tablespoon of water. Got the filtered water from the refrigerator, and I'm going to put it on the blender. And you know, all the blenders have a thing on top where there's a hole and you can use it. There's a hole on the top of the blender where I'm going to pour the water in as it's blending. Give that a little bit more time. And you know what? I'm going to put some more salt in here. And a little bit of olive oil. And here's what it looks like when it's ready to serve. Put a little bit of olive oil on there. And if I were serving, I would usually put it in a plate with the crackers around it, which we can do. And I'm going to take there we go. And can you grab that plate, please? Let's see what we can do here. Okay. And here I've got a plate of the already cooled crackers because I want to show you how we cut them. But first I want to take a look at the ones in the oven. We're just about done. Interesting, with an electric oven, or most any other oven, I think, that retains heat, the reason I have done that is it is still baking. There's enough heat in there to finish baking the crackers, but not to burn them, to overcook them. And here's our hummus. handy dandy spatula. Okay. I'm going to remove the blades carefully. And you'll find that the hummus sticks, so very carefully with your spatula. Do not use your fingers. Take the hummus and put it inside, and we're going to pour all of this into a bowl. Lorraine, can you grab, let's see, I think there's a small, nope, there's a small bowl. Let's see, let me get a glass one. Wait a minute. There's a lot of hummus that has stuck to this, which it has a tendency to do, but if you just have patience, you can get most of it off. And I want you to see the consistency. And then we'll show you how to how the crackers break up beautifully. Okay, here we go. You can see it's thick. It's almost like pancake batter, but it is hummus. Okay, you want to do a taste test?
Sure.
See, and of course you can scrape down the walls however you want to do it and get all that wonderful food out of there. And it was so simple. This is the most difficult part of the whole thing with the recipes, with most of the recipes. I think I have a feeling that the crackers are about ready to come out. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
And the pot holder is there. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, I think so.
And you can check your crackers a couple of times. Basically, they should bake for about 30 minutes, but sometimes they get done faster on the stove. Yeah. I know that gets very hot. Okay. And so we're going to let those cool for a minute. And here's our hummus. You can see it's thick. It will move if I let it. And here's the plate of some of them when they come out. And you can see where I've scored them. And all you have to do is touch them. They'll come apart really easily. Here's another batch. And I'm hardly doing anything to pull them apart. So there you have your crackers. And let's see, I think, and we have some fringe edges on these. I don't know if you can see them up against the white, the background. But there's your crackers. And there's my hummus. Would you like another batch?
Yes.
Another, yes, here. Whoop. And I don't know if that one needs some more salt. We did put some salt in there. Might need some more. And I'm going to take this one because there's a little more. Here we go. And I am using kosher salt. I'm going to just salt everything here. We'll get it all on there.
Very good.
And if you like, you can put some pepper on with it too. But basically, there it is. And you can mix up the olive oil on it. You can serve it however you like. And if you wanted to add something like, I know people have red pepper hummus, or I would serve it with some pine nuts scattered around on top. And you could also, any kind of vegetable that you wanted to chop up. If you want to put your vegetable in, when you first put the chickpeas in, and if you want to add something like red pepper, or just chop up a little bit of red pepper, not a big batch. It's amazing how thoroughly it will infuse itself into the hummus. If you just put it in when you put the chickpeas in, let them get a little bit blended first, and then add your vegetable, what other vegetable you want to eat. And you can use the pine nuts if you like, and any other kind of nuts. But pine nuts are really great because they're delicate, and they fit beautifully with the hummus, and especially for serving. I'm going to try one of these myself. Dr. JACALYN, how are you? Are you hungry yet?
It looks delicious. Yes, looks very good. Two of my favorite things.
Well, I bet you could make these easily and you can have your mom help you. I'm sure she'd be happy to whip up something.
Sounds like a good idea. Thank you. So
Mhm.
we're actually at the end of our show, so it was perfect timing. Well done.
Thank you. And we
We
do
did.
have, I just wanted to show you the first batch we took out, just to show you how easily, again, these have bigger ones. So I'm just going to pick it up and watch. Crackers. Whoops. See how easy they come apart?
Very easy, yes.
And these are done a little bit less. Sometimes they get a little bit browner, but we've got enough crackers to have a party, so come on over.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ricki. Let's put up your contact information again.
Thank you.
And if people want to purchase your book.
Okay. Let me grab the book. And by the way, we also, on my website, rickiskitchen.net, we also have wonderful coffee mugs that are available that say take whisks, as well as you can also purchase the book from the website. It will take you right to Amazon, where you can purchase it either in ebook form or in paperback form. And it's, again, yes, you can eat well and eat right and enjoy yourself and find the joy of cooking. So you can contact me at rickiskitchen.net. That's RICKISKITCHEN. And make sure you use it RICKI, because that's really me. And you can also find me on patreon.com/Ricki McHealthy, MC Healthy. And you can actually text me at 970-618-7607. And please put kitchen or kitch or something like that. Kitch, KITCH, in the text so I know what it's about. And thank you so much. Have a blessed day and a blessed weekend.
Thank you so much, Ricki. The same to you. And nice to meet your friend, Lorraine, and look forward to seeing her again. Nice job today, sous chef.
Thank you so much. We'll see you again next week.
All right. Bye for now. Have a good weekend.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, I hope you've cooked up an appetite and you're going to be preparing that lovely dish of hummus and crackers at home. We are moving on to our next show of the day, which is The Listening Mentor, followed by Loving Longevity and Pet Psychic Amna. And before we do, I just have a couple of announcements that I've been sharing with people. So in case you're not aware, in addition to being the founder and being the president of USA Global TV and Radio, I also have another business, which is drjacalyn.com, where I teach people how to listen at an elevated level. I'm also a published author. And so my first two books that I published between last year and this year, within 11 months, both became #1 Amazon bestsellers. And I'd love for you to pick up a copy of them if I could ever find where my little graphic is. Here it is. The first book is called Behind the Green Screen: How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. And this is my story of how and why I left my corporate career, my 6-figure income year after year after year, all my benefits, staying at 5-star resorts, and how I gave it all up and started this platform, which was just one radio show, and I was the one being interviewed every week. And now we have 26 live shows on TV, radio, and podcast. And we will soon be launching our app, USA Global TV, so that you can actually watch or listen all the time and engage with us real time right from your device. The second book is called Adversity to Awesome, and this is 12 chapters. The first chapter is my story of how I was literally attacked and what happened to me as a result of it. I didn't speak of it for years, and I decided to put it out there so that someone else who's gone through the same thing could know that they're not alone, and know that there is help, and know that there are people who will listen. And the other 11 chapters in this book, Adversity to Awesome, are people I've interviewed, and they share their stories, also coming forward to help someone else. And then finally, my new book, which is one of 7, in a series called The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor, is a book series to help children and their parents listen at an elevated level. So I have created a course called The Power of Listening. And this course is 2.5 hours long. It's $257. You take it at your leisure, whenever it works for you. You can start, you can stop. And when you finish the course, you'll receive a 7-question quiz. When you receive 100% on your quiz, you become an elevated listener, which means your picture, your headshot, and your certification for passing the course go on to drjacalyn.com, and your headshot goes onto our website, USA Global TV. And then you have the opportunity to be featured in so many different things, including this book. So these animals that you see here represent actual people who are elevated listeners. In fact, the ladybug with the name Ella, that represents me, and I'll be in all of the 7 books. And the one next to me, the cow, represents my sister, Belle the cow. And so each of the characters will be appearing on my new TV show, The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, to really let children, their parents, know what these characters represent and how they can improve their listening skills and their interaction. So if you're interested in joining our team at USA Global TV, the best way is to become an elevated listener. It's the quickest way, it's the least expensive way, and you will join this elite team that you see here. The only thing you need to do is to go to drjacalyn, drjacalyn.com/shop, SHOP, and you'll see the Power of Listening course is right there. You can download it, then you'll take the quiz, and you'll be part of our team, and you'll be exposed to many fabulous opportunities wherever you are in the world. All right, thank you so much for listening and watching. We'll be coming right back with the Listening Mentor, and my guest is Caroline Heward. Thanks for now. Thank you, Chef Ricki, and thank you, Lorraine.